Hello everyone. One of the main questions I get or I read anyway on the internet and I've been asked many times is should I gut the ambulance to start from scratch or should I just try to do with what's inside because the cabinet's already very good quality and all. Well, it took me about 4 days, but I'm gonna get through you with this video to show you what it takes and my take on it. It's you get so much more freedom by gutting the entire ambulance box as well as the electrical. It's there's a lot and a lot of circuits and wiring that you just don't need, and the aluminum is not light. I probably took well over 1,000 pounds, if not more, by taking all these cabinets, which a lot of them I couldn't use. They get in the way to what I have in mind. Some half-inch or half-inch plywood will be a lot lighter overall. As you can see, there was a lot of bird's nest and mice poo and nest in there. So if I didn't start taking these cabinets apart, I wouldn't have found half of them. So another reason, this is not only always the case. There was some openings that were left and when this box was stored. On my previous ambulances, it was very minimal because the ambulance were still in use. But the main thing is starting with the upper cabinets. You take off all the upper cabinets. Once you're there, you get to the ceiling, and here you can see an example of all the nest and leftover from these illegal occupiers, and that has to go. It's a health risk, so that's why you see me mostly wearing gloves and masks. And then I kept going. I took off all the insulation because I plan to spray the box, which will give like better insulation, help with the rigidity and vapor barrier as well. And where I'm working now, this is going to be the shower and bathroom area, so all this is in the way. Plus you see the wood plank on the vertical wall at the front. This is going to be a pass-through to be completed at a later time. Again, you can see more of the bird's nest hidden right behind the cabinet, which couldn't see. These critters, they use the insulation to make their nest. So all that has to go, and I'm glad I did. These cabinets are not always easy to remove. They're heavy and they're very well attached, sometimes welded in place. So you got to be patient and you have to pay attention how they are attached. Like here, I had to break all the welds one by one until I reduced the integrity of the box, the cabinet, and then I kept going at it until the cabinet came off. I'm also gonna remove pretty much all the electrical. When your box is already in a vehicle, I would suggest keeping only the reverse lights, the clearance light, brake, and signal lights. But in my case, I'm gonna start from scratch, and that's why I'm taking out all the insulation, well, the split looms, and then all the wiring. Trying to do it so that I can reuse all these electrical wires because they're good quality and you can roll them back in little coils and reuse them during your build. Some are split in multiple circuits, so it's a little bit more difficult, but you just keep what you need. And you could see earlier the big tire was in the truck for a long time, and I kept moving around because the box was on the truck and I couldn't bring that tire down. It was probably 5 feet off the ground. But once at some point I used a crane and took the box out of the truck, which helped, and I was able to remove the tires. Now this was the most frustrating part, this flooring. It started so well and I thought, all right, let's keep going, until I ended up at this stage where I used like a roofing axe, which was a savior, and I managed to get it through, but it took me almost a day just to remove this flooring, which was really well glued in place. Yeah, well reserved, deserved a little rest here. And once it was all done, I ended up pressure washing. I soaked it with bleach and soap first, and then I don't know how I did it, but I convinced my neighbor to come, Donnie here, to come and spray it for me. And this is how the box was removed from the truck. So I hired a crane. It was pretty cheap actually, probably around 120 bucks US, for the guy to come and take the time to take it out, and we're able to adjust it and put it on some blocks. So thanks again, and see you at the next one.